All right, here we go. We're back with the Module 5, Lesson 2 problem set. If you have the ability to print this off of the lesson that I made, great. Print it off and follow along. If not, just grab a blank piece of paper and do the best that you can. Follow along, okay? So here it is. We have put my name at the top already and today's date. This is what I just said in the red, and now we're going to start off here with number 1. Number 1 says circle the strips that are folded to make equal parts. Remember, equal parts has to be equal or it's not fractions. Okay, so I look at the top one, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is split into fifths, and I notice that these are all equal. I mean, they look weird like that because they're representing a fraction strip, you know, like it's folded like this, you know, so you're kind of getting this weird angle looking at it. So this one is a definite yes. I'm going to circle that. All right, so that's 5 equal parts. Then I look over here, I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, and something's weird about this one. This one, I look at this piece as compared to this piece, and they're different sizes. This one's much bigger. And so this one is not partitioned in equal parts. So that one's out. I'm not going to circle that one. I look down at this one here. I see equal, equal, not equal. This one looks a lot bigger than the other two. So again, that one is out. No good. All right. And then finally over here, I see 1, 2, 3 parts. And this one looks like my thirds a little bit here if I fold it up. And I see that they're all equal. This is partitioned all into equal parts. So yeah, this one is a yes. Cool. Now, I forgot to mention before, if you want to do this page before me and then compare it to me doing it on your own to see if you were right, go ahead, give it a shot. I love those little challenges you might give yourself. Number 2 shows this fraction strip here. And it's really hard to see this, and I'm just noticing it now, but there is a line here, okay? It's just the way it is, all right? So there is a line there that makes this into 4 equal parts. So there are 4 parts here in total. And this asks us how many are shaded. Well, there would be 2 parts shaded here if this was the case. So 2 parts shaded. All right, this is one of those things where you notice the mistake as you're teaching it, but it is what it is. All right, here there are more than, they're all the same size here. So I'm going to partition this by drawing in with my hand, just freehanded here as best as I can, all the spots here. And this needs to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This needs to have 6 parts. So there would be 6 equal parts. And out of those 6 equal parts, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shaded. 5 shaded parts, okay? So in the instructions, when I go to print this out, I will put in there that you need to partition these, or I'll try to fix this before posting it. Now on letter C here, 2C, this one's much more clear for us. I can definitely count the parts, and I can count the shaded areas, all right? So the first, I want to count the equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is cut into sevenths. So I'm going to have 7 down here, 7 equal parts. And how many are shaded? Sticks out to me like a sore thumb. 1, 2, 3. 3 parts are shaded, so this would be 3/7 if I was going to say it as a fraction. Okay, and all right. What unit fractions are these? Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 7 unit fractions, sevenths. So 1/7 is my unit fraction. So 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, 1/7, and 1/7 make 7 sevenths, and that makes a whole. So this is cut into 7 equal parts. And then it asks me how many are shaded. Well, it's quite obvious to me that there are 0 shaded, so we're going to say 0 shaded parts, all right? There's the first page. Now we're going to move over to the next page in our Module 2, our Module 5, Lesson 2, and I've got word problems, okay? So we're going to do some drawing and some writing here, okay? So I look down here, I see number 3, Noah, Pedro, and Sharon share a whole candy bar fairly. which is the right way, fairly is equal parts. Which of your fraction strips shows how they each get an equal part? Draw the candy bar below, then label Sharon's fraction of the candy bar. All right, so first of all, we need to see here we've got 3 kids, so we're going to cut this into thirds. So our unit fraction is going to be 1/3. We don't have fraction strips, but I made a fraction strip earlier, and there it is. Okay, and we're going to label the fraction of the candy bars that Sharon has. So first of all, I'm going to use a tape diagram and make a little piece of tape. I'm going to cut that into thirds, so thirds needs to be 2 cuts. 1, 2. All right, now I'm going to label this as my whole candy bar. There's my whole candy bar. 1 whole candy bar. Okay? All right, so each kid gets a share. So I'm just going to keep this right in order. Noah gets a piece, Pedro gets a piece, and Sharon gets a piece. Cool. So I can see that they all got 1/3. So I look here, then we're going to label Sharon's fraction here. So this is Sharon's piece. And what fraction of the candy bar did she get? You're right, she got 1/3 of the candy bar. Okay, so over here, I'm going to say, so the first question here says, which of your fraction strips shows how they each get an equal part? We don't have those fraction strips, so I'm just gonna skip over that question. But I drew the candy bar below. We're gonna label this, but we're gonna write this as a complete sentence. We're gonna say Sharon gets 1/3 of the candy bar. Done. Good. All right, on to the next one. So the next one says, to make a garage for his toy truck, Zeno bends a rectangular piece of cardboard in half. Oh, that reminds me of what we did with our first fraction strip. We cut our first fraction strip in half. Okay, just like that. And he then bends each half again. Oh, just like we did. Which of our fraction strips best illustrates, best matches this story? So this is the one right here. We fold it in half, and we fold it in half again. It's exactly what this one says. So this is our 4th fraction strip, okay? And again, you might have not done this because you don't have the means, or we really can't do it together. So the fraction strip would be 4. So what fraction of the original cardboard is each part? Draw and label a matching fraction strip below. All right, so we can do that pretty quickly. So here's our tape diagram. Draw a little rectangle, okay? And then what we're gonna do is to make 4ths out of this, like we just talked about, let me move this into the view a little bit better, is to cut it in half first. It's the best way to make 4ths. There's my halves. And then I'm gonna take each half and cut those in half. And those will make nice even sections, partition this into 1/4 sections. So unit fractions are 1/4, okay? So 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4 is 4/4, and that's the whole thing. So I'm gonna label my fraction strips just like that. I'm gonna say 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. Okay, and remember, and I'll label this too, this is the whole fraction strip. So we want it, the question says, what fraction of the original cardboard is each part? And we know each part is 1/4. That's our unit fraction, the smallest part to the whole. So each part is 1/4. Now there's other ways to write 1/4. You could say 1/4. You could say, you could write it like this, 1/4. Okay, or the fancy way, 1/4. Okay, lots of different ways you can write 1/4 down. I'm going to stick with doing it this way for now, okay? So, and finally B, check my time, we're good. Zeno bends a different piece of cardboard into thirds. He then bends each third in half again. Which of your fraction strips best matches this story? Well, I'm going to pull out our thirds fraction strip that I did with you earlier in the lesson objective. And I'm going to fold this back into the thirds that I had before, like this, okay? And then he folds it again, like this, okay? So he folds it right in half, okay? Like that, okay? And then he's going to open this up, and I want you to see if you can see with me what it makes. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I just made 6, which makes sense. If I cut each of my thirds in half, I'm going to get 2 pieces. And 3 groups of 2 is 6. So there's 6. I made 6. So we're going to draw and label a matching fraction strip. All right, so I'm going to draw exactly what I just folded. So here's my tape diagram or my fraction strip. And to make 6, the first thing I want to do is think to myself, well, I'm going to do that thirds part first. There's lots of different ways, different theories you can do this. Oh, I'm not even on the screen. Let me push up and get on the screen. There we are. Okay. So there's my rectangle. And there's a couple theories. I can cut it in half because 6 is an even number and then do thirds on either side. Or I'm just going to do it this way, create thirds, just like we did in the folded piece of paper, and then cut each of those thirds in half and create sixths. Just like that, okay? So again, this is my whole. Okay. These are my unit fractions, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, 1/6, and 1/6. Okay, so each part is 1/6. I'm going to say that. Each part, partition this, is 1/6. Good. And that basically concludes our lesson here. I'd be really interested to see you guys find these kinds of unit fractions around your home. If you're eating pizza one night, which seems to be a lot during these times, find out what they cut it into. Find out they partition your pizza into equal parts. Half the time mine come into the house are not equal parts, like someone did it when they were falling down. So you know, hang in there, guys. Super proud of all the work that you're bringing in, you're showing. Super proud of your perseverance. Keep smiling, keep working, and I can't wait to see you guys soon. All right, talk to you. Bye-bye.